Welcome to This Explainer. You know, in the world of tech, it has been an absolute whirlwind over the last 24 hours. Right now, all eyes are squarely on Google. We're tracking two massive, totally dominating stories unfolding at the exact same time, and honestly, they could not be more different. On one hand, we've got a very sudden, very serious privacy scare involving Google's AI. But on the other hand, the hype for their upcoming hardware event has hit an absolute fever pitch thanks to some massive leaks. It is a stark contrast for sure, and we're going to break down exactly what's happening on both of these fronts.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our agenda for today. First, we'll look at the two sides of Google. Second, we're asking the urgent question, is Gemini listening? Third, the massive hype around the Pixel 11 Pro. Fourth, we'll cover its telescopic zoom and pricing. And finally, we'll weigh innovation versus trust. Section 1, Two Sides of Google, a 24-hour whirlwind. Right now, Google's PR is essentially split right down the middle. We're looking at a growing, frankly spooky privacy scare on one side and unprecedented hardware hype on the other. These are two completely different stories, right? But they perfectly illustrate the complex push and pull we're all navigating right now between the background AI services we rely on and the shiny new hardware we carry around in our pockets every single day. Moving on to Section 2. Is Gemini listening, the uninvited guest?
Now, this is the much more serious side of today's explainer. The question every Android user is suddenly asking is your AI actively listening to your private conversations? Well, according to a flood of recent reports, the answer might actually be yes, even if you specifically told the system not to. Pixel users are suddenly claiming that Gemini is interjecting into real-world conversations completely unprompted, no wake words, no warning.
Just take a look at this user anecdote because it is deeply unsettling. One user reported they were having a private conversation in their car. Their phone was just sitting there on the dash, acting as a GPS. But then, completely out of nowhere, the phone chimed in with a comment directly relevant to the specific topic they were discussing. This wasn't just some random glitch or a generic search result popping up. No, this was a targeted, contextual response to a private chat. It strongly indicates that the assistant was actively listening to their real-world environment in the background.
So, what is actually causing this? Well, the likely culprit appears to be a specific setting buried deep within Google Maps and Waze. It seems a recent update quietly enabled hands-free access to Gemini by default whenever users enter driving mode. And here's the kicker. Many users are adamantly stating they previously had this exact setting disabled. But this new update seemingly just reactivated it without any user notice or consent. The end result? Gemini isn't just listening for its wake word anymore. It's literally overhearing and reacting to your private, in-car conversations.
Google actually hasn't officially commented on this yet, but if you want to lock down your privacy right now, here is the exact fix. Open up Google Maps and tap your profile picture. Head down to your settings, tap on navigation, and find Gemini. You'll want to explicitly toggle off the Talk to Gemini hands-free option. And, as a final precaution, go ahead and turn off Manage Voice Match as well. That should stop the passive listing bug cold while we wait for an official patch. Okay, Section 3, the Pixel 11 Pro in the hype pivot. All right, settings secured, let's execute a hard pivot here because the Made by Google event slated for August 12th is massive. We're looking at 4 distinct models dropping all at once: the standard Pixel 11, the Pro XL, and the Pro Fold. But based on the intel we're getting, the leaks surrounding the Pro versions are pointing to a true game changer.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the hardware upgrades happening under the hood. It is staggering. The new custom Tensor G6 chip is reportedly moving to a 2-nanometer process by TSMC. That is a massive generational leap in raw performance and battery life. But perhaps even more importantly, leaks suggest Google is finally ditching the Exynos modem for a MediaTek M90. This is huge because it should finally resolve those annoying connectivity drops and battery drain issues that have plagued Pixel phones for years.
We've also got a brand new physical feature called the Pixel Glow. This is an RGB LED notification light beautifully integrated right into the back camera bar. It can illuminate in various colors to show you different alerts, indicate your charging status, or even pulse when the Gemini AI is thinking. It is a brilliant, modernized callback to the old notification LED days that Android users used to absolutely love. And it serves as a fantastic, unique visual selling point for this whole new design.
Section 4, Telescopic Zoom and Pricing, Reaching Further. As impressive as that new processor is, the undisputed star of this upcoming lineup is the completely revamped camera system. And this brilliantly illustrates the leap we're talking about. The previous generation maxed out at a 100x zoom, but the leaked Pixel 11 Pro, It introduces a 120x Pro zoom. Guys, we are officially entering telescope territory here. That is a staggering level of magnification to somehow fit inside a smartphone chassis.
To make that insane 120x magnification even possible, the hardware has to scale up significantly. The rumored system includes a 50-megapixel main sensor, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, and crucially, a 48-megapixel periscope telephoto lens. This specific combination of massive sensors and periscope optics is exactly what's going to drive this boundary-pushing photography. But it's time for a quick reality check, because all of this cutting-edge technology definitely comes at a cost. The expected pricing reveals that Google is officially scrapping the old 128GB base model. Everything will now start at a base storage of 256GB. Consequently, the price is bumping up. The base Pixel 11 Pro is expected to start at $1,099, which is a straight $100 increase from the previous generation. And if you want the larger Pixel 11 Pro XL, you're looking at an expected price of $1,299. It's a significant financial jump, meaning consumers will really have to decide if features like that 120x zoom are actually worth the extra cash.
Finally, Section 5, Innovation versus Trust, the Google dichotomy. This brings us right back to the core dichotomy we're witnessing today. Google is balancing boundary-pushing hardware against the very real danger of eroding consumer trust. Think about it. The company preparing to launch what looks to be its most innovative, powerful device in years is the exact same company currently dealing with a massive blow to user trust from a passive listening bug. Whether it's just a technical glitch or a totally misfired update, the damage to the reputation is exactly the same.
So I want to leave you with this question as we look toward the August 12th event. Is the cutting-edge tech worth the privacy risks? As these devices become more powerful, more capable, and more deeply integrated with AI that anticipates our every need, the line between helpful assistant and intrusive surveillance becomes incredibly thin. We're going to be watching the Made by Google event closely to see not only if they confirm these incredible hardware specs, but also how and if they choose to address these Gemini listening concerns on a global stage. Think about where your own boundaries lie as a consumer. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the tech you let into your life.